Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuque,
David Wynn.
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Today, guys, we've just got a great show put together for you. We've brought back Craig Fawcett from the Tampa Bay area, and he works with Click and Close. And Craig, who do you have with you today?
Devin, I've got Anna Vega here. I got to tell you, the first time she and I spoke and I got to hear her story, I immediately said, oh my gosh, we have got to tell this story to the world. There's a lot of agents out there that have success, but she not only has success in the real estate business, but she's having success in what she does, giving back to the community. She's got a great heart, and I'm excited to hear the story. And I'm excited for the world to hear her story because it's just so
I'm
awesome.
excited to hear this story, brother. That's fantastic.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
go.
Let's go. Well, Anna, tell us about it. So you got started in the industry, but where'd you get your start in this world, right? Are you from Florida originally, or let's hear a little bit about that background.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. I appreciate you guys. I'm actually from Colombia, South America, and I arrived to this country in 1999 with $300 in my pocket, looking for the American dream. It wasn't easy, but hard work, determination, and the opportunities that this amazing country provides allow me not only to move forward up the ladder in life and of course in my career, but also give back so that the person behind me can also reach that that step, that dream that they have.
Right.
So
That's right.
that's a little bit of me. I started in this business, real estate business. I actually
Well,
started
real
yes,
quick. What year did you move to the United States?
1999.
1999.
Yes.
And at that time, where did you start here in the U.S.? Did you jump right into real estate, or
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. I did everything that you could imagine, from being
let's
homeless.
hear that journey.
Yes, from being homeless to working as a waitress to not having anything to eat and just buying
Yeah.
Domino's Pizza on Tuesdays that was $5 and make it last for my breakfast, lunch, dinner every single day, or buying a Subway, a foot long, and that make just portion it accordingly.
Yeah.
So I work as a waitress. I also work at a rental car center near the airport in Miami, renting cell phones. So back in the day, cell phones were just coming into the world, and people will travel here to the States for vacation. And I was working for this lady, offering rentals of cell phone for the people when they were renting the cars. And
Oh,
so I
wow.
did that. Then I started selling accessories for cell phones. And I work cleaning, I work babysitting, I work cooking. Um, I did everything that needed to be done,
Yeah.
just to have.
There's been some blood, sweat, and tears
Yes,
on this rise
absolutely.
to success, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the
Yeah.
good thing or the great thing is that my parents were visionaries. And when I was born, my dad was gifted to a trip by his company to Europe. And when he was in Europe, he said, English, it's the language that my children are going to be speaking. So when he returned back to Colombia,
Mm.
the biggest gift that my parents ever gave me was putting me in a bilingual school so that I could learn English since I was very, very little. And not only that, my school also um, was into technology, and my parents own a business. So when nobody had computers, I had computers, and I remember, going into Encarta and learning, I was learning myself Word, Excel, PowerPoint. So when I came to this country, I had those skills. I knew Word, I knew PowerPoint,
The
I knew
knowledge.
Excel, I had the knowledge, I had the language, and I've always been a writer and a reader. So my communication skills were very in tune, and that allowed me to get a job as an administrative assistant to this company that allowed me to grow. And believe in me, I had the best boss and mentor that you could think of. He believed in I was this little kid. I had just recently had my daughter. I was a young kid with a young kiddo baby, and an immigrant in this country, and he trusted in my potential and
That's amazing.
allowed me to flourish. And that's a little bit of my story. And
Well, I want to
you
stop you
know,
real quick because I think I heard something there, and would you say it's fair to say your father was your first success partner in life?
I will put it on both my dad and my
Yeah.
mom. Now,
Yeah.
this is the funny thing. My relationship with them early on in my years was horrible
Yeah.
because I have their blood, and their blood it's visionary and independent, and
Yeah.
I want to make my way, and fight with, not fight with the world, but you want to find your way. You don't want anything
Yeah.
given to
That's
you.
right.
You want to work for it, and that's them. However, because I was just like that, they didn't understand it. They wanted this let's just say a conservative daughter per se, which I could not be at all. And
Yeah.
it was a lot of conflict between us, tons of
Yeah.
conflict. And
Yeah.
so they were my success partners, but l- later in life, when
Later
we
in
had
life.
the energy, when we had synergy. At the beginning, they were my I'm gonna say my why for me to I'm proving them wrong, kind of. You understand?
100%.
It was kind of, they're like, oh, you're gonna come back, you're not gonna be able to survive the United States, you're gonna come back like the prodigy daughter, like they will recite to me the Bible and all you can imagine. And for me, it was like, no, I'm gonna prove them wrong. So they were my partners in the sense that they gave me the motivation for me to not give up.
That's
then
right. That's
then
right.
then came my daughter, and she became the light of my life, my
I
better
love that.
motivation, and my vitamin D. And yes, and then later on, we have that synergy, and of course,
So you came here to the States with, a passion
yes,
and a driving force behind you, ready to fight
yes,
to get what you wanted,
correct,
right? And
correct,
you got here and you had your daughter and you've got your light here and she's lighting your way to that success.
yes.
And how did that happen? So you end up into the real estate business. How? How did you get here?
So back in 2004, I decide that I want to be a homeowner. And I start knocking on doors. I wanted to buy a property in this community. And I start knocking on doors asking who wants to sell real estate. I didn't know anything. And I actually found a person that wanted to sell their home. And it worked out perfectly. And that's the first home that I ever bought. And I'm like, oh, I like this. However, I was too in tune with everything else that was going on in my life. I was working two jobs. I was a marketing analyst for movie theaters. I was, had my full time job. I was going to school full time as well. So, and I was a mom, and I didn't have time to think about a career in real estate until 2011 when I bought my second home. And I did that when I moved to Tampa. And I bought my home during one of the most challenging periods to buy a property. I mean, the
You
market
did.
was down, the banks were dealing with all these new restrictions and laws,
We
and
didn't know what to lend.
it was horrible.
Yeah, we didn't know what we could lend. Yeah,
Nothing. It was so challenging. And
that's right.
I was able to get not only a loan, but I bought a house at an auction where the seller was in Pakistan, the title company was in Georgia. I signed my documents at midnight on a table, on a dining table in one of the houses, one of my cousin's houses. And the whole process, everything that you could imagine that could go wrong, went
Yeah,
wrong. And I was just, every challenge that was thrown at me, I'm like, okay, we overcome it. So as soon as I finished that transaction, I said, oh my God, imagine how many people I could help with accomplishing the dream of homeownership. Some people
that's
don't
right.
even want to go this route because they don't want to deal with everything that I just dealt with. I'm a problem solver by nature, so I love the challenge. Bring it on. but many
Yeah.
people don't have that spirit, right? And I'm like, you know what? There's something inside of me that says, this is what I gotta do. I love the challenge. I love what I had to do and finding solutions. So I quit my corporate world. I quit everything. And I said,
And what was that job at the time?
I was a marketing manager for Latin America for a telecommunications company. So, and they're set up in Israel. So I was doing marketing events all over Latin America for this company, and I was traveling, and I was like, no, I don't want to travel anymore. I'm a marketing person. I'm a PR person by nature, but I want to do this. So I quit
Yeah.
everything and I set up myself for 6 months of savings. You know, they told me that it would take me 6 months to get my first paycheck, blah, blah, blah. And I quit everything. August 1st, I signed up for real estate school. And September 11, I went and presented my exam. I passed it and immediately hung my license and never looked back since then.
Let's go, man. That's
Yeah.
freaking awesome. I want to give a quick history lesson here because you talked about 2011 and how difficult it was to get financing. And sometimes, when we're doing these things, our audience doesn't always know what happened at that point in time. But guys, if you take things back to around 2008, 2009, we had a mortgage crisis in the United States. There was a lot of subprime lending that was done with a lot of impractical tactics. We ended up in a tailwind of foreclosures, and the lending business shut down for almost 3 years in the retrospect that people didn't have the comfort level as to what they could lend to because our mortgage industry was in such a state of disaster. And so the institutions that write these guidelines had to come back in and really take a hard look at guidelines and say, hey, look, these are what we feel comfortable lending on. This is what we feel comfortable writing. And it took them several years because even in the beginning stages of that, in the infancy, the underwriters didn't know what they could or couldn't underwrite. The
Correct.
restrictions were very, very tight. And so for somebody to become a homeowner, not only did they have to jump through a lot of hoops, but they may jump through a lot of hoops and actually never end up with a home, right?
Correct.
So those of us that went through that period of time or purchased a home during that period of time, man, left a really bad taste in the consumer's mind as to what mortgage
Yeah.
is. Now we've since completely repaired that.
Yeah.
And, now we're back into a very healthy market when it comes to underwriting and guidelines and getting qualified, right? And now we actually have a much smoother process, and lenders are able to close loans much quicker, right? I know our turn time guarantee is 21 business days or less. We close loans in 7-8 days sometimes, and that's because now we do have a very healthy mortgage economy. So I always like to give these little nuggets out there when somebody mentions something like that, because you say, hey, terrible experience in 2011, and there was a lot of reasons behind that, right?
Yes.
So you get in the industry saying, hey, I can make a better place. I can help these communities. I can help people with that journey to home ownership and make it way simpler.
Yes.
And how does that look? What happens there?
Oh my God, it was amazing because I joined the business and then I kind of understood what is happening. So there were a lot of people that were getting ready to become homeowners again, right? They had lost their house, they had lost their homes, or they probably never owned a home before, but had not had a chance to save enough money to buy a property, or they were just going back to an employment, and you required 2 years of employment for you to be able to get a home. I mean, there were all these restrictions that had been added to the mortgage industry, and all of these people were getting ready to buy. So what I did is I informed myself about first-time home buyer programs, and I started calling the counties and the cities. Nobody was doing that. I was literally one of the first 10 people in all of these programs that was really trained on how to help first-time home buyers navigate through home ownership. And the thing
That's
is
awesome.
that if these first-time home buyers were receiving any type of down payment assistance funds by these institutions, they were required to work with a realtor that knew the business and understood the guidelines, and a lender that did that as well. So I will go every either Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday and Thursdays with my little table and my thing of cookies and chocolates, and I will sit through the entire seminars, meet the buyers, learn, sit there, learn, sit there, learn, sit there, learn, and network. And that was how I started my business. And so I became the first time home buyer lady. And then after that, I started, working with military families and then new construction. So it just started building. But that's how actually I started building my business with first-time home buyers. And my first, let's just say, 3-4 years in the market, 3 years, I'll say 3-4 years, it was all about first-time home buyers. Then after that, it became investors. And that's how
Ooh.
I just move up the ladder in my business.
Hey Anna, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You say that Spanish was your first language and English is your second language.
Yes.
As I don't know if people know this or not, but South Florida is the melting pot. There's a lot of immigrants in South Florida. I say at a time, Spanish may be the first language sometimes there. What percentage of your customers today are bilingual or Spanish primarily, or what?
Well, there is I'll say maybe a 70% of my business is Hispanic business.
That's big.
However, it is big. It is big. Hispanics are very loyal. And
That's what I want to talk about.
yes, they're very loyal. We are very loyal. I mean, we buy one toothpaste or one laundry detergent, and that's gonna we're not only gonna buy it, our children are gonna buy it, our grandchildren are gonna buy it. It's something that it's even a study in Hispanic marketing, for this big corporation about the loyalty of the Hispanic market. But translating that to real estate, when you're creating a good experience, and not only we're loyal, but we are warm and very. I really take care of my clients like they're my babies, they're my family. Once we start, we're married forever, and that type of relationship. I mean, my clients, even the ones that started with me, 13 years ago, they have been, well, not 13 years, 12 years ago, they have been with me forever, and they refer me to everyone that they know. So they could be Hispanic, they could be bilingual, they could be, American second generation, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Um, eh, that's why the percentage is so high.
I love it. I heard that. The reason why I say that is because, I base my team out of Texas, and on my team I have bilingual loan officers and agents and stuff like that. And it's culturally, it's a different clientele.
Totally.
And even though we have Spanish speaking people as a second language, when you're talking about making the largest purchase of your life,
Yep.
you want to regress back to your native tongue, which is Spanish, if that's your first language.
To give you
I tell
an,
people all the time.
to give you an example, I have one of my clients, he's a military client, and he's Hispanic. I will meet with him to help him complete his loan application. This is not people that I can just send them a link. No, they want to meet with you in person. They want to come to the office. They want to give you the papers. They want to meet you face to face. And these, even when they're writing their letters of explanation, like I'm there helping them, with the whole
Yes.
process. And this is what makes them, it makes a very close relationship, because this is not only a transaction. You don't see me when we find a home and then at closing. You see me every day, all the time. I mean, I speak with my clients every single day. So
Well,
that's
you said
very,
it
very different.
best. You said your clients are your family,
They
right?
are my family.
And
Yeah.
I've got some great news for you. I don't know if you knew this already about Craig, but we have here on our team, we have what are called pre-approval specialists, right? And even if Craig doesn't speak Spanish, our concierge desk and our pre-approval specialists are fluent in Spanish.
That's
So
amazing.
we do understand that it's important to have that in your business, because again, especially in that South Florida area or here in Texas, a lot of our consumers, they prefer to speak in Spanish,
Yeah.
and we want to make sure that that's a priority for them. And even if some of our agents don't speak Spanish, right, we have people here that they can communicate with to provide that service, right, because it is so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad you guys get it.
Yeah. Well, again, listen to what you just said, Anna. You are taking the application, translating it for a lot of your clients. If you're taking the application and translating, you're not out there selling. One of the things that we want our agents out there doing is selling. We provide a service to where I tell people all the time, in Texas, we call it Spanglish, where you have a mix of Texas, English, and Spanish all together. But the problem when you speak broken Spanish, it doesn't always translate to the financial words. You truly have to be able to read, write, and speak in those financial words in because they don't always translate.
Well, and we talked about this the other day. There's not a lot of application systems that communicate in Spanish, which is a problem for the Hispanic community.
Yep.
And I don't know if you even know this, David, but our platform, our Click and Close platform that we use for our consumers, it's not quite there yet, but we're just about to launch
Our Spanish
a Hispanic version of that
Yes.
online application system to work directly with those communities so that they finally have a friendly way of being able to complete an application. Because in our industry, and I think this is on both sides of the table, Anna, there just isn't a lot of literature that speaks to both sides. And we're finally, as a business, and not just our business, but other businesses as well, starting to realize this is a problem in our industry and it needs to be corrected.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I'm with you guys.
So let's talk a little bit about your business today. So we know you got your foot in the door because you had a driving force and you said, I'm going to make a difference, right?
Correct.
And so you land here in the United States, you wind up in this industry, you start off with the first time home buyers, you end up working with some investors, right? Where are you today? Where did that take you today?
So I started working with investors and understanding the fix and flip market. And as I am working through this, I'm learning. And with my husband and I, we started becoming a team to become investors. We become investors and started doing our own fix and flips and started creating our own opportunities for the people that we know. I mean, there's many properties that we even flip specifically for our clients. Then I started offering turnkey solutions for investors, meaning I will find them
That's
the property.
fantastic.
Then we will go to our side business that will do the renovations. Then it will come back to me where I will list the property again. And I establish relationships that have spanned 6-7 years with these clients. And this took me next to my next step, which is me becoming a general contractor and started building. And in 2018, 2017, 2018, I started seeing the shift in the market. The REO business had been very active, so we were able to find flip opportunities. But 2017, I started seeing, you know what, this is going to dry up. We're going to have to start thinking outside the box. So I met with my team and I said, you know what, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start buying land. And we're going to start buying land and we're going to start building. But we're going to be focusing on affordable housing because affordable housing is going to become very expensive. And if we're able to secure land right now at a very lower price, we're going to be able to provide affordable housing in the next 2 to 3 years.
You're going to solve that solution.
And I saw that back in 2017, 2018. And that's the route that we took. And we started purchasing land and building. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. So we, of course, I have a real estate side business in which I serve buyers and sellers. And there I have also my business of construction and my business of renovations. And then I have my business of my own investments in which I purchase properties not only for fix and flip, but also to keep them, buy and hold, which are my own income properties. So those are the businesses.
That's amazing. And what you're telling me in this, and I don't know how much of this you and Craig have talked about. I assume a lot considering he brought you here on the show. But that actually is very hand in hand with the project that our CEO put together. We actually specialize in one-time close loans. And we do that because, again, we recognize there's a housing issue. There's not enough homes on the ground for purchasers. But more importantly, and I recognize this in the community I come from, I'm from a small town in Kansas. When you want to go out and you want to buy a home, and you want to buy in that lower income price point, typically what you're left with is a selection of homes that is really just not that great, right? Either they're homes that are run down and need renovation, and most people can't see how that could transition into a home for them, right? Or they're just homes that are way outside of their price point, and so the lower income families, they can't find suitable housing, right? So with our one-time close program, depending on the communities, we offer up as much as 100% one-time close, right? And I'll tell you why this is fantastic, because when you're out there buying that land out there and you're trying to make that affordable housing, a lot of the times what builders run into is a financial problem, right? I can only build one house at a time or 5 houses at a time because I only have so much capital to go around, right? But with the programs like ours that allow for 100% financing, you could provide the land, we could provide the financing. The borrower ends up not having to put any money out of pocket. They could roll the payments into the loan during that period where the home is being built out. You, as the owner of the business and the construction company, are getting checks at each stage of completion of the project, right? And in the end, the home is built. Everybody's received their compensation. But the best part, and this is what I think you're in it for, is we put somebody who had the difficulty of finding an affordable home
Yeah.
into a brand new affordable home, right?
There you go.
And did it with little to no headache, right? These buyers didn't even think that they could buy the right house, and now here it is sitting there with brand new keys and brand new amenities, and it's done at an affordable price. And that's what's amazing, right?
And you know what makes it even more amazing? Many of these people that want to buy new construction, many of these buyers that want to do new construction, they can't even do it on these communities because they have higher taxes, CDDs, HOAs, so many fees that takes them out of their approval amount just because
They're priced out of the
yeah,
market.
they're priced out of the market. So when we're able to offer them, some land, and I see this is, you're hearing this from me now. I see now, like I saw in 2018, 2017, I see the market shifting more towards multi-generational living. I think we are going to go
Yeah.
back to the time that we lived with our grandparents, with our cousins, with with our kids, and everybody living in land, living off the land. They're going to want some land for them to start, growing their own vegetables and fruits and living together, because it's just going to become so expensive, and people are going to start heading back to those family
The
values,
roots.
into our roots.
There's
The
a
roots.
there's a lot of country already like that, Anna.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
back to the one-time construction loan. We also have an AOL product that actually puts money back into the builder's hands. Which Craig, you should talk to Anna offline about this. But before we go, I do have a question for Anna. It's been really on my mind.
Yes.
So I asked this question to a lot of our guests. You've been in real estate a long time. You've had a lot of successes, but can you share with our audience the one moment that in real estate, not 3, I just want the one that stands out the most, that's most special to you?
Most special to me, I think it was, I had this beautiful family that I was renting them one of my properties. And this is a family that also arrived to this country as immigrants and have fought so hard to become, legal residents. People that have, like, I admire them because of the way that they have remained legal in this country and work towards their dream. And I had a home and I offered that to them so that they could rent it, with the condition that I wanted them to become homeowners. And what happened is that my husband and I, we landed this opportunity, and I told my husband, you know what? We're going to flip this property and we're going to flip them for them. We're going to flip this property. We're going to make it for them, for their family. They have babies. They have a special needs kid. And I said, we're going to make everything for this family. So we did. And then we came to their home and I said, you know what? You guys are ready for home ownership. And I said, I'm going to help you. And I spoke to the lender and we made it happen. And when we gave them that house, it was big.
Awesome.
It was big.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I think you've touched me in a way. I'm tearing up right now. So thank you for that, Dana.
Thank
Well,
you.
real quick, Craig, I could see you were about to say something, brother. I want to get your voice out there. Craig, what were you going to contribute today?
Well, I know when I first met Anna, one of the things we talked about, I had asked her a similar question to David, and she had told me that she won an award at her local office, and then that went regional, and then that went to the state level. And I just loved it because, again, it was an award not for the most sales, but it was for the biggest heart. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about that award. That to me, that was, as soon as I heard that, that's why I said, you've got to be on this podcast, because it was just such an amazing story. I'd love to hear about that.
Thank you, Craig. So my former brokerage, it's all about culture. Now, the interesting thing is that this is not about culture. This is just who I am. It's my essence. I really love, really, like, my purpose is helping people. My purpose is lifting up, just there's enough cake for everyone, and I want to share it with everyone. So that is just who I am. That's my nature. And I never in a million years thought that being like that will merit an award, because I'm not doing it for an award. I am just doing it because this is the way that I love living my life every single day. And my former brokerage see this, they call this culture. And they have what is called the cultural ambassador. And everyone in my office, I didn't know, voted for me to become the cultural ambassador for the office. Well, the office has to go into a regional level and, put the word out there, because every office will have their own cultural ambassador. Well, I not only made it in the regional level, but I actually ended up representing the region at a state level. And then they actually took me to the national level, and I was inducted as the cultural ambassador nationally for the North Florida region. So it was a beautiful recognition, because you see in a little award, medal, whatever, what your peers seeing you. And so it feels very nice. It's very rewarding. But it feels more rewarding when I have built those relationships with my colleagues, with my community, with my clients, and that is what matters. So,
Well, let me tell you something, Anna, and I want to start back from where we began on this journey today. We can't talk all day, but I want to say something. You came to this country, right, and you had nothing, and you struggled a really long time to get where you are today. But you came here with a passion to help and to educate and to be there for others and others in your community and your culture. And you did what it took. You took action. And you did it every single day, whatever it took, no matter what was thrown in front of you, you did that. Okay? And you built yourself to where you are today. You're an agent who helps people get into homes. You own land. You own a building company. You are an investor. You teach people how to invest, right? And you did that. You did that with your heart and your passion and your drive. You should be very proud to wear that award. You deserve it more than most. And congratulations to you for your accomplishments. I'm proud to know you and to have heard your story and to be able to put that out here today. So Craig, brother, thank you. Anna, thank you for being who you are. It's absolutely a pleasure. Absolutely a pleasure. And an honor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So,
Okay.
well,
Ready now.
No, you deserve it, girl.
Oh.
You do. You do. You need to toot your horn a little bit. I know you're one of those people that doesn't accept praise easy, because at the end of the day, in your eyes, you still are working for more. But sometimes you need to take a step backwards and take that look in the mirror and know you've done some amazing things here.
Thank you. I do.
So bask in it.
Yeah, sometimes I do that when I need my pow-pow.
I love it. Well, we can't have you here all day. I wish we could.
Right.
But is there anything we didn't touch on today that you want to get out there? Any message you want to throw out there today?
Not really. I just want to speak to everyone that is listening. Just remember to be kind, and pay forward. We never get to where we are by ourselves. There's always people that, we meet in the road, and just live with a grateful heart. That's my message. That's all.
It's amazing.
Very, very grateful.
It's amazing. Thank you. Craig, anything you want to say here today?
Now, I just want to say I love your story. I've loved it from the first time I heard it, and I appreciate you and looking forward to, getting to spend more time and know you more and getting a chance to see this in action. So I'm excited about it.
Well, Ana Vega, if the people out there want to find you, let's start with what area do you serve? You're in Florida. What's your market?
I'm in the state of Florida, and I serve everything from Central to West Florida. So the Tampa area, Ocala, Orlando, Lakeland, Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, Clearwater, St. Pete. We have no limitations. Actually, my license is good for the entire state of Florida. So I have even served people in Boca Raton, in Miami, and no boundaries. So yes, they can find me in the entire state of Florida, whoever they want, for investment purposes, for first-time home buyers if they're looking to sell, they're looking to relocate, military families. I love working with military families. I am just so grateful to work with them. And yes, and anyone that is dreaming about homeownership, wants to become a homeowner, wants to become an investor, wants to build a house from the ground up, we can partner with you guys to make this work. And yes, and they can find me anywhere. I'm an open book. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, or they can just go ahead and call me.
And what are those on Facebook, Instagram? What are those tags?
So in Facebook, they can find me with my name, Ana Milena Vega. Or they can find me on Instagram, Ana0613. That's my Insta. And or they can find my business page, which is Ana Vega RE, and also in Insta. So
we'll make sure we put those down there in the comments section so folks can see that when we publish this thing. And what's a good phone number for you, just to get it out there?
Absolutely. So 305-343-4597.
Let's go. And Craig, how about you, brother? If the people down there in that Florida area need some help with financing, how do they get in touch with you, Craig?
Real simple, 727-480-8122. They can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Craig Fawcett. Not too many of us out there, so I'm pretty easy to find.
I love it, brother. I love it. And let me tell you something. You definitely want to look these guys up. And 100%, you're doing some amazing, amazing things. And when people need that hand-holding through the process and know that they're going to get that service from the heart, Ana Vega is where they're going to go
right
to.
Here.
So thank you so much for being on here. Craig, on the lending side, if you guys need help, I know he's going to give you great service because he works for my team. So make sure you reach out to Craig Fawcett, because we'll make sure that's a smooth and flawless closing from start to end. And also, I can tell you this much too. Craig and I both, we speak the same language. We speak from the heart too. That's why we love meeting like-hearted, like-minded people like Ana Vega, because we're doing it for the right reasons, right? Because we absolutely care about the communities and people that we serve. So thank you. David, anything you want to throw out there, brother, before we go ahead and sign off?
No, I just want to thank you very much for being on the show today, Ana. I know this. If I'm buying real estate in Florida, I'm calling Ana Vega.
Let's go.
There
Let's
you
go.
go.
Hey, we may be.
Yes.
We may be.
Service right here.
I just got back from 30A, and let me tell you something. I am highly considering putting something together out there, because that's a beautiful area. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
wonderful.
I'm here. You have my number.
Wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Well, I got it. I'll call you. So we're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Abuse.
I'm David Wynn.
And if you want to find us, you can check us out at www.realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. You can also find us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. We're on all the listening platforms. If there's one you like to consume media, we're probably there. But I highly check you move over to YouTube to check this one out. You're going going to want to see that video and get to meet Anna Vega and Craig Fawcett live and in person. And we'd love it if you subscribe, but we love those 5-star reviews. Let's go. So thank you for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Bye, guys.